Welcome back, friends. Today we are going to read about data delivery mechanisms. Once again, welcome back to Mobile Computing Classwork. I am Dr. Sharada, Professor, CSE Department, St. Peter's Engineering College, Hyderabad. Classification of data delivery mechanisms. See, there is how the delivery mechanism of data in a mobile device is classified. There are three mechanisms of classification. As you know, one is push-based mechanism, or in the initial introduction part, we have learnt about the services of a mobile device, right? In that, we have learned something called as push and pull mechanisms. The same thing will be here reading in elaborate way. Push-based mechanism, otherwise we call it as publish, subscribe mode. Pull-based mechanism, otherwise we call it as on-demand mode. And hybrid mechanism, otherwise we just call it as hybrid mode. Now we'll see what push-based mechanism is. As we all know, there is a server and all your mobile devices are clients. Every time a server pushes some data records, the client can only see that record. You cannot manipulate anything in your mobile device. Such mechanism where the server only puts the data onto your mobile devices or sends the data onto your mobile devices is called as pushing data records. The server is pushing the data records. You can only read the data, but you cannot write anything in the data. That is the reason we call it as publish subscribe mode. As you can see here, the different examples for this push-based mechanisms are stock quotes, weather reports, advertisements. Suppose there is a traffic congestion, you are subscribed to the traffic app, then you keep on getting that congestion messages. Stock exchange, as and when there is a change in the stock market or something, you get the messages. And suppose you are subscribed to some news channel, as and when there is a change in news, or every 1 hour or every 15 minutes, you get messages from that. All these are called as push-based mechanisms, or otherwise we call it as publish subscribe. Okay, when you subscribe, it automatically publishes. That's the reason we call it as publish subscribe mode. Here what is happening? The data records are pushed to the mobile devices by broadcasting without any demand. You are not asking for any of the data records. Automatically the mobile device is getting broadcasted messages without your demand. This mode is also known as publish subscribe mode, in which the data is pushed as per the subscription for a push service by a user. Suppose you have subscribed for a news channel, as I said just now, you will get the news report. Suppose you subscribe for a weather report, every day how the weather is, how it would be tomorrow. In that way, every day you get a report from a weather app. Suppose you go to a stock market or you go to a supermarket and you want to buy something. You subscribe to that supermarket. Automatically every day he keeps on sending you messages that about their discounts, about their various products, about new products and all. Without any demand, automatically it is pushing the data onto your mobile device. So the name publish and subscribe. The subscribed query for a data record is taken as a perpetual query till the user, till when do you get, till you are unsubscribing that service, you keep on getting that pushed messages. The general architecture of push data delivery mechanism is something like this. As you can see, the server whom you are connecting is the service provider, or otherwise we call it as a broadcast system. This is the algorithm for selecting and structuring the records. You can see with an arrow mark here. And once the selecting is over and structuring is over, and intervals, within how many intervals that push message should come to you is decided by an algorithm, and then within a broadcast bandwidth of the selected algorithm, it is sent to the service provider. Now it is the responsibility of the service provider or the push system to disseminate into your mobile devices. You can see in the diagram, you can understand how the algorithm is, how a data record is actually pushed to the service provider and to the mobile device. See, there is an uplink and downlink. How push device, how it is actually sending to the mobile device. Yeah. So what is happening here? structure as the diagram is once again explained in the form of a text. I think you can easily understand from the diagram how the structure is. A structure of data records is pushed to be pushed is selected by using an algorithm. Now the data is pushed at selected time intervals using an adaptive algorithm, and within a certain bandwidth of are adapted for uplink and downlink. Using that algorithm, it is pushed onto the subscriber's mobile device. So what are the advantages of push-based mechanism? I think you must have already known understand. You are not pulling any data from it. Automatically, as and when there is a change of data, or as and when there is an update in the data, it is automatically broadcasting onto the device. This is a best advantage. You are not requesting anything automatically because you are subscribed to that particular channel. Automatically data is coming onto your devices. This is the main example, the best advantage what we have. So what is happening? The server is not interrupted frequently by requests. Because you are already subscribed to that, the server has an idea how many subscribers are there. So no further requests will be there. For all those who are already loaded into the server, the data is getting pushed off. So what is happening? The server is not getting overloaded, and there are no flooding of device requests also. This is also one advantage. So because the server is not getting overloaded, automatically there is no traffic congestion in the network. And so these are the advantages of push-based. With the advantages, we always have a disadvantage. Sometimes what may happen, all the irrelevant data which you think it is not of the context also may come onto your devices. This is the basic disadvantage of push-based mechanism. So the next mechanism what is introduced is pull-based mechanism, or otherwise we call it as on-demand based mechanism. Here, on-demand based, the name is itself telling on-demand. Whenever you ask, only then it will come to you. If you don't ask, if there is no request, there is no response. Such response we call it as selective responses from the server. We call that as selective responses from the server. So what is happening in pull-based? Whenever you request, that is on demand, then only you can pull the data from the server or the service provider. The diagram is same as you have seen in the push based, but the arrow marks are reversed to this. That's it. The diagrams don't differ anything, but the arrow marks for the data record to the algorithm, selective tuning algorithm, that is only a reverse order. Otherwise everything is same. Here only thing is you are demanding for a request. Suppose, for example, you want to listen to some ringtone. You are requesting the server to download that particular ringtone onto your mobile. The same way, bank account. If you want to transfer some amount from one account to other, you are demanding the server, or you are requesting the server to access your bank account and transfer some amount to another bank account. So it is only during that particular time it will be active. Once that activation is over, again you'll be back, your system will be back into your hands. So this is what pull-based mechanism. Records are pulled by the mobile devices on demand, followed by selective response from the server. What is meant by selective response? As I told you just now, suppose you want to access your bank account. Will it directly allow you? Suppose you have an account, will it directly, if you type the account onto the server, onto the system, do you think the server gives up? No. Some background verification will be done. Whether the request has come from an authenticated person, verification whether that fellow has a proper subscription of the account. So certain security things are also done in this on-demand mechanism. That's the reason the pull mode is also known as on-demand mode. So as I told you just now, the diagram is the same, but only in the arrow marks are only in the reverse order. The bandwidth used for the uplink channels depend upon the number of pull requests. There is a threshold, a certain threshold is selected in a given period of time. This controls the number of server interruptions. A mechanism is adopted to prevent the device from pulling from a cell, which is handed over to the concerned device to another cell. In pull-based mechanism, the user device receives data records sent by the server only on demand. Otherwise, it will not even send the, and not only on demand, you'll also have to remember, only after proper verification of the subscriber, only then the data will be sent. Yes, definitely there will be an advantage and also disadvantage for every mechanism. So the advantage what you can see with pull based mechanism is you are requesting for certain data, only that data is disseminated onto your device. So what is happening? All the unwanted or unnecessary data is not coming into your device. This is the major advantage. Definitely pull-based mechanisms are the best option when the server has very little contention and is able to respond to many device requests within expected time intervals. So only on demand, so automatically the server is not very busy. Even though it is busy, there is certain time slots given to each and every client. So only in that certain intervals, it keeps on pushing the data onto you can pull the data onto your device. And definitely for every advantage, there will be a disadvantage. The disadvantage what here? Generally, if so many people are requesting for the same data at the same time, then the server may go into congestion. For example, let us see your MSET results. Whenever it's a pull-based mechanism, only if you type your hall ticket number, you're getting your result. It's not bombarding all the results to every mobile device. It's not push-based. It's only a pull-based, on-demand only. So what is happening in that case? Everybody are demanding at the same time. Then definitely the server may go into some congestion state because of sudden rise in the demand. So the server may definitely feel some frequent interruptions, and so it may go into a hanging situation. So that is one disadvantage we can find. In on-demand mode, and the disadvantage is energy and bandwidth required for sending the request for hot items and temporal records. Generally, when there is a very big data, you wanted some very big video to be downloaded or something in on-demand mode. What happens? The bandwidth is required, energy is required for sending such requests. Then more more load is on the server. So this is the major disadvantage what they found with pull-based mechanism. So there is another mechanism called hybrid mechanism, which is a combination of both push-based and pull-based. So what is happening here? In this, it integrates both pushes and pulls. It is also known as interleaved push and pull mechanism. Okay, hybrid is also called as push and pull mechanism. What happens here? It pushes for the subscribed data, or for the subscriber, it pushes the data, as well as whenever you request, you can pull the data. Both the things you can do on the same device. Here what is happening, uses the back channel to send pull requests for the record, which are not regularly pushed by the front channel. It is divided into channels, so it is both pull and pushed are done from the back and the front channel. The front channel uses algorithms modeled as broadcast disks and sends the generated interleaved responses to all the pull requests. Here what is the best example is advertising and selling of music albums. So what is happening? Push is done. First, what is all are suppose there is a new music album released. What's happening? The subscriber first advertises to all the mobile devices that so and so new music album has come. Once it is received, then only few people who are really wanting to listen to that particular music album, only those people will be uh, will be requesting for the downloads, right? That is nothing but pull. Your only certain mobile devices pull it, but pushing is happening to all the devices. So this is the best example what we can talk about hybrid mechanism. The advertisements are pushed onto the mobile devices and pull for buying the album. So it is here what's happening, both pushing is happening and pulling is happening. So in the diagram, when you imagine the push based diagram what we have discussed earlier, you can always see a double arrow mark, pulling of all the records and pushing of all the records, double arrow mark on both the sides. This is the so definitely which is advantageous of the, we can definitely say that hybrid mechanism is advantageous because you are able to know the data or know a new subscription, and also if you are really willing to take it into your mobile device, you are able to pull that data. So this advantage is the number of server interruptions and queued requests are significantly reduced. Definitely yes. No, the server, we are only requesting for those what we want. So interruptions are reduced on the server. Okay. Disadvantages: adaptive chopping of the slowest level of scheduling pushes. Definitely, what happens? The system becomes very low, very slow because of the scheduled pushes. So even though we have an advantage of reduced number of interruptions, we have an uh, disadvantage of slowing of the system. Generally, we say na, the system has gone slow because of over pushing and over pulling of data. That happens in hybrid mechanism. So guys, I think you have understood the different data delivery mechanisms, and this topic is quite interesting and important topics for you. You please go through it once again, and hope everybody understood my session today. Thank you.